So we'll be starting with our topic that like exactly we are on the board for the PSU theme, basically PSU sector, all right, and the banking and insurance sector stuff. Now exactly before going and before proceeding with these topic, so I'll just requesting Arvind sir, I just need to have a brief about you, what exactly like how you are unlocking these banking streams and how you did into particular this stream and what exactly your backout journey. We are all interested just to have a overview, a quick overview of it particularly.
So basically, I have been a banker for last 25 years, and last 1.5 years, I've kind of uh, left my job and I'm just enjoying my life. You could say early retirement at 53. I'm just at 50, I decided to probably quit my job and kind of spend my time with my family and do some stuff that I love doing. So, in 25 years of my banking career, my expertise has been risk management, credit underwriting, SME credit, you call it retail credit, or for any product for retail, I've managed it, be it home loans, be it car loans, be it consumer durable, construction equipment, commercial vehicles, credit cards. So all retail products have managed basically as underwriting head of credit underwriting or head of policy or head of risk management for various banks. So my I worked with banks like HDFC Bank, Citibank in India, and then I was in 11 years. I was in UAE working for two banks there. One of them was First Abu Dhabi Bank, which is a number one bank in terms of size there. And then last 3 years I spent with Noor Bank, which was a government-owned entity. So that is my background, and I've been investing in stock markets in 1986. At the age of 17, I started investing. That's about me in short.
That's so good. That's so good. At the age of 17, you just started
Yeah,
investing.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
At 19 anything. Wow, good.
yeah.
Okay. So I'll be checking out that we have seen that there's some PSU stocks and like particular in public sector, there's a focus. They are in limelight exactly. How they quickly they are getting the into the I think cash. So for exactly as of now, I just need to say like rally of PSU had already been started a month ago. I can say from October or like a September end.
Yeah.
But we all as a like a retailers, we are getting this stuff particularly in this October phase.
Right,
All right,
right,
that rally has been already pushed up.
right.
So as per your knowledge, as per your background, what exactly we are saying if I am naming particular stock like Indian Bank, Canara Bank, and Union Bank, like all PSU,
Right.
they already have rallied up, shooted up.
Yeah.
So like, is there any space left for the retailer so that we can enter as a room, like हम position बना सकें for our investment purpose.
So first time, actually, I don't invest in public sector undertakings or listed companies as a matter of fact or as a principle. But around 6 months ago, I saw an opportunity when the government said that they wanted to privatize BPCL and two banks apart from IDBI Bank. So that was the time I started studying BPCL. I found that the oil prices are going up and crude was expected. It was around $55-$60 at that point in time. And it
Right.
was expected that it will probably touch 75 to 80. That was the forecast being made by analysts who track oil and gas sector. So when I looked at BPCL and when I studied deeply into it, I found that there was value inside sitting in BPCL. So that was the time I entered BPCL at around 400 rupees a share, right? Then it went up. Then there was a dividend of 15 rupees. Then there another dividend came up. Then 58 rupees was the third dividend that came in. So I have been basically riding that space, especially BPCL. And then when I looked at the banking sector, I found that a lot of these public sector banks are undervalued, and they were getting better and better with every quarter result. So when I studied the last 4 or 5 quarter results, I saw that the profitability was increasing, the revenue was steady, they were still making that NII or fee income, and their basically slippages were reducing, like slippages of bad loans. So at
True.
some point in time you had to see that okay, the slippages will reduce further, and then there will be an opportunity that these banks will return to a healthy profitability. The other aspect I looked at was IDBI Bank when it was 35, between 35 and 38, right? So I
Right.
saw that the bank had cleaned up its books because it had a gross NPA of almost 25% and the net NPA was less than 2%. So which told you that almost like 97-98% of the NPAs had been provisioned for. So and the new NPAs were, and it was in PCA, so preventive corrective action by RBI. So they couldn't do large loans to corporates which can go bad. So automatically every quarter they were just doing retail business and small SME businesses which had relatively lesser chance of going bad. So you knew that at some point in time, RBI will take it out of PCA and it will become a normal bank, like they can do the lending again. So that was a time when I looked at it, had a book value of 31 rupees, trading at 36 rupees. 97% or 96% was owned by government and LIC together. So there was hardly any retail participation, and most of it was either mutual funds or FI or DIs which are holding it. So that was the time I identified, and I thought that if this can be privatized, maybe the government, because maybe the government can then probably sell it at 75, 80 rupees. You never know.
Yeah.
Why this came up to me was because when government sold to LIC, they sold at almost between 61 and 62 rupees 3 years ago. So LIC has lost money in 3 years. 61 has become 36. So you don't have much space left to lose money at 36 when you're buying a stock at 30. Could probably go down to 30, 27,
Mm.
so which was around 20% of the capital that you were at risk, but the growth upside could be 100%. So that was one of the rationale of getting into IDBI. Then I started studying all the other public sector banks, and I realized that they were trading at 0.3, 0.4, 0.5% of book value. Right? If the asset I hold is basically the loan book that I hold after NPAs is still, let's say the value is 100 and the stock is trading at 50 rupees or 45 rupees, I see that it probably will go back to 75, 80 at some point in time when the market will realize the potential. And when you looked at these banks, there was a clear cut that one could see that the performance was improving quarter on quarter, but the improvement was very slow and not visible to everyone. Whether it was the NPAs that were going down, or whether the slippages or the provisions were going up, going up for these loans. So that was the time I started entering into some of these public sector banks like PNB, Indian Bank, Canara Bank, Bank of India, Union Bank, etc. Right. So then there was this another development that happened around 3 months ago in June, July, which was like the government was setting up a bad bank, which is the NARCL. Right.
Right.
So
This is our concept. This is sorry to interrupt. This is our concept question exactly. Bad banks. So, but
yeah.
how exactly it is affecting PSUs?
Yeah. So what has happened now with bad bank coming in? It basically, the idea the government is saying with bad bank is that the bad bank will take over all the NPAs of the public sector banks. So to
Right.
begin with, there are 22 accounts which are valued at 90,000 crores will move to bad bank in phase one, right? So what
Okay.
happens is that when as PNB or Canara Bank or SBI will transfer any bad account to the NARCL or to the bad bank, these banks will get paid 15% in cash upfront, right? So if
Okay. Okay.
90,000 crores is being transferred, the banks will get 13,500 as cash upfront, which automatically will take away all the NPAs and give them the profit upfront, 15% at least of that NPA value,
Right.
right? So this goes into straight into other income on their top line, and rest
Mm.
85% is issued as a security receipt. So security receipt means that for the balance 85%, if the bad bank is able to recover 50% after their charges or whatever fee or commission that bad bank will charge for recovering that loan, whether it is 2%, 3%, whatever is agreed, the balance
Okay.
will come back to these banks, right?
All
So,
right.
so, so
Okay.
90,000 may not get recovered fully, but
Mm.
probably out of 90,000, maybe 40, 50,000 will get recovered, right? Let's say.
Mm.
So this 40, 50,000, 13,000 has already come to the banks. Rest 37,000 will come over a period of time as the resolutions take place. So
Right.
since,
You.
since the banks have already provisioned this amount, automatically whatever comes back goes to the top line and bottom line. So this was the rationale of identifying some of these banks to kind of get into as investments. And this is not a long term trade that I intend to take. I probably want to stay with them for 9 months to 12 months. Once they reach a certain level, I probably will exit out and move into some other quality banks, basically private sector quality banks.
Yeah, that's a good catch. This is just an informative thing for all of us.
Yeah.
That what exactly Amritsar is saying, that you should be noticing about the span. All right, if you're an investor, what exactly the time period you can pick it, or like you can like put it into mind 8 to 9 months, or like, I can say like a less than 1 year. All right, if you are
It all depends
rallying.
how this progression takes place, how they are able to kind of get that money back. And then we will see as the things progress. If things are still fine, I probably will continue with them. But when I
Okay.
think that, okay, they have reached book value or probably 10-15% over book value, I probably will try and exit and go into something else.
Okay. All right. Getting it. So all right, we can have like a buffer period of 6 months to 1 year. On
Yeah,
probably we
yeah,
can.
yeah. Most
All
of
right.
the
All
banks that we have seen in the last 1 month have really gone up in terms of like 30-40%. They're up, especially like Indian Bank, Canara Bank, uh, some of the other banks like Union Bank and Bank of India.
right.
Bank of
Yeah.
Baroda is again probably up 20-25% from its 1 month ago rate. Right.
Yeah, only been I think the rise rose up by like 50,
Yeah.
40% in total. All right. So next point, I just need to focus exactly. So what are the triggering factors exactly? If I am saying, if I just used to look at the banking space,
Yeah.
so what are the triggering factors? You just need to focus. आप किस banking trigger factors को लेते हो कि आप एक pick कर पाओ किसी particular stock को. For example, if I am saying I am taking private sector on the one part, and secondly PSU. All right, so if I am getting on basis of fundamental, I'll be taking some particular trigger factor like market cap, declining NPAs, earning growth, like asset quality. So what exactly the theme perspective, आप कौन सा trigger factor एकदम point out करते हो so
So
that you can positions create कर सको आप
So
particular stock के अंदर.
basically, there are few things that you look at. One is obviously the net interest income growth, right? Either the
Okay.
net interest income should be growing or should be steady, like in the sense that it should not be declining, because ultimately the earnings come from net interest income of a bank, and then the fee income, how it is progressing, whether it is increasing, whether it is decreasing, etc. The core fee income, which is your processing fees on loan and your charges, etc., on remittances, etc., what banks do, right? These are two
Okay.
factors. The other thing I look at is cost to income ratio, how competitive it is. Anything less than 45% is something that I very closely track, because if something is above 50%, then obviously there is no efficiency in the system for that bank, right?
All
So,
all right.
so anything less than 45% is a very positive sign. That, and how is it trending over the last 4 or 5 quarters? Is it going down? Is it steady? Is it increasing? What is the trend like? So if it is decreasing or steady, it's still fine, right? So this is
Okay.
something. Then you look at, basically, then I look at names, that how are names factoring in. If the name is too low at 2%, 2.5%, does it make sense to probably buy that bank, or probably look at how the NIM is progressing, whether there is 10 bips increase every quarter or what is happening? And then there are the NPA trends and provision coverage, right? If you are
Right.
increasing provision coverage every quarter, your profits will reduce to that extent, right? So provision coverage, if increase, is very important. That yes, you are being conservative in your approach when you are taking higher provisions on your NPS, and you are willing to take that knock on profits, etc. And return on assets, how is it moved? So these are 4 or 5 things that I look at basically when I am looking at a bank's result.
Okay, okay. So is there any space left for ROA, like return on asset? If we going by a fundamental space, we just need to check for a particular stock like return on equity, return on asset. So for a banking sector stock specific, I'll find it would be very difficult for a banking space to have a good return on asset, generating the return on specific assets. So would it matter कि return on assets पे क्या आपका specific percentage आ रहा है?
Basically, the best bank in India today has a return on asset of 2%. Like HDFC Bank today, if you look at it, is 2%. ICICI has reached 1.9% in the last quarter's result. Public
Okay.
sector banks are low on return on assets because of legacy issues that their loans were going bad and they are carrying a lot of these bad loans. So they are not there as compared to what the private sector banks are, right? So
Okay.
maybe today it's not the right measure that say that okay, some bank has a return on asset of 0.8% compared to 2% for HDFC Bank. But look at what is improving in their results, whether NII is improving or is steady, whether core fee income is improving, your NIMs are improving, your slippages are going down. If slippages go down, obviously your provisions will get lower at some point in time in the next 1 or 2 quarters. So ROE and ROA is probably not the right measure right now for these banks because they are coming out of their long 3 or 4 years of bad history or
So
bad
true. So true.
performance.
Right. Right.
Right.
Yeah, I'm getting your point. Right. We got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you think? Like PSUs are like good for a wealth creation. If I am saying that if we are investing, for example, if there is a particular investor X and he wishes to invest in a banking space, so would that we can see like PSU would be a wealth creation sector? Would you think like because what exactly I think their business model remains same, like there are low margins, stiff competition from the private banks. So like would we be going for PSU space for a particular investment portfolio? Would that be a
One
thing?
thing, one thing I have always I have learned over the years that PSUs have not created wealth, but be it banks, be it other PSU companies. Like so, first
Yeah,
of all, they are not to be invested at as consistent compounders or consistent wealth creators. You can probably get into them as a special situation kind of a investment, right? When I say
mm,
special situations, you have the BPCL example that there is a divestment that probably the government is planning to do, or an IDPI that the government wants to sell, right? Or
right,
let's say the banks today are coming out of last 4 years of bad loans, etc. So these are special situations which you can play out for 9 months or 12 months. But I don't think that probably someone can ride PSU banks or PSU sector for long term wealth creation because if you look at the PSU banks are losing market share to public sector banks, right?
right. Mm,
One is this that obviously they will continue to lose that market share. Today, at some point in time, it was 100% PSU banks had a market share. Today, it's around 67, 68% that PSU bank market share is. So tomorrow,
right,
maybe every year they will lose 1 to 2% to private banks, and probably they will not be the wealth creators. But let's say if government has a plan to privatize two public sector banks, whether it is the Indian Overseas Bank, whether it is a Bank of Maharashtra, or any other bank tomorrow that they privatize. Whosoever takes it from the private sector, probably then it will be a compounding story because anyone who buys into these banks then obviously will run it in a more professional manner because government has not been kind of because see the issue where the issue comes in is that there is no stability of the top management. uh, a PSU bank appoints a chairman or an MD for 2 to 3 years, right?
mm,
Whereas if you look at the continuity of the private sector banks, Aditya Puri was there for 25 years, or there have been other bank MDs which have been consistently there for 7, 8, 10 years. That's what matters in banking. That continuity is very important. So where PSU banks lag is the management, top management, that they come for 2 to 3 years and then they go out and a new person comes in and he has his own policies, etc. So the
right.
continuity is not there. So that is the reason I don't prefer PSU banks for long term investing. Even SBI, for that matter, in the last 20 years has probably not generated the kind of wealth what a
Right.
private sector bank has generated.
True. True. Okay. Yeah, that would be a gist from Arvind sir, that we can say in all and about, like PSUs are not that much good for wealth creation, if I guess in a short. Yeah.
There have been exceptions, I would say, but it's not the norm.
Okay. Okay. On the rough side, we can say like
Yeah.
for
There
yes.
would be an exception. There would be a monopoly. Like today, IRCTC is a
Yeah.
PSU, but it's a
Hmm.
market favorite because it whatever ticket bookings you do on the railway website or the IRTs, they earn a fee. They have the distribution of food products, water, etc. They sell packages, train packages, air packages. So IRCTC in a way is a very different company than normal PSU.
Yeah. Got it. Got it. Right. Okay. So next point I would like to ask, like अभी जो हमारा प्राइवेट सेक्टर में सॉरी पब्लिक सेक्टर में रैली चल रहा है पीएसयू बैंक में,
Hmm.
आई फाइंड दैट ये रैली कंटिन्यू आगे रहने वाला है ड्यू टू द फैक्ट दिस इज नॉट दैट अभी जो हमारा पीएसयू रैली स्टार्ट हुआ है एंड वी आर एंटरिंग इनटू इट और हमारा माइंड सेट है कि हाँ रैली कंटिन्यू होगी, बट माई फैक्ट है because the government in the winter season, I can say in the parliament winter season is all about to start in November end. So there is like a proposal of getting two bills. I think one is privatization. I'm not clear. Privatization and second is separation of pension fund. I
Hmm.
think regulatory कुछ इनका है.
Hmm.
So two bills are about to come. All right, in this coming session in the November end.
Yeah.
So what exactly the impact would be? I am seeing like जो PSU आपके चल रहे हैं अभी जो रैली चल रही है, this PSU rally will be continued to be held for a longer period, and I'll be seeing that there will be next private banks exactly like Canara Bank or I'll be picking up Union Bank. So would that be a thing once the privatization concept gets into picture?
So basically, if you ask me, my personal view is that one privatization that the government does would be the next trigger to re-rate PSU stocks, right? Whether that
Right.
one privatization first is IDBI Bank, BPCL, or Shipping Corporation of India, or any other name that they have said that Concor or whatever they want to privatize. So,
Right.
because we all know that governments take time and it takes a lot of decision making to come up with privatization or to sell for various reasons. Like there are unions, there are other things to be kept in mind. There are cross holdings sometime in various PSUs, like ONGC holds stake in various companies. IOC would hold stake, like BPCL holds a lot of stake in IGL and Petronet, etc. So this has to be first sorted out before it can be divested. So my guess is that, let's say, if there is one divestment that happens before March, whether it is BPCL, whether it is IDBI, government has said that they want to before March they want to finish BPCL and IDBI.
Right.
Whether they can walk the talk is something we have to see, right?
Hmm.
How fast
Okay.
this progresses. So if at least one is sold, we saw Air India selling to Tatas in the last 10 days or
Hmm.
15 days. There is a rally that started on the PSU bank
Hmm.
side, right?
So
So
okay.
if the next trigger could be that how fast or what are the developments in this divestment phase, right?
True.
How fast things move, how fast the files move, how fast the approvals start coming in, how fast the bids are called for, uh, how fast the due diligence starts. So everything will depend on it. So that's a big thing, that if it moves faster, you will see these PSUs going up in price.
All right. All right. You got your point. It's a good point to note what exactly sir has told. And one thing I just have noticed like अभी as of now अगर हम देखें PSU बैंक में, तो what is my question is who guys are infusing the funds into PSU bank? Be it like institutional thing, because I just have noted QIs and FIIs they continuously are selling from June,
Hmm.
क्योंकि उनसे जून की सेलिंग चल रही है, ठीक है. एंड मतलब एग्जैक्टली कौन बाय कर रहा है पीएसयू बैंक को, बीट रिटेलर्स लाइक LIC, हु आर द मेन पार्टिसिपेंट इनटू दिस, क्योंकि अभी अभी जैसे आप नोटिस इन अगस्त सेशन, अगस्त से सितंबर KYP funding has been there to the PSU banks of 55,000 crore around, I think 50,000 crore in the rough figure. So according to you, आपके अकॉर्डिंग ऐसा कौन सा पर्टिकुलर सेगमेंट है जो इन्फ्यूज कर रहा है पीएसयू सेक्टर के अंदर, और वी कैन से इन पर्टिकुलर बैंक निफ्टी होल स्पेस?
I think mutual funds are buying into some of the PSU banks that I have seen data for, that they are positioning themselves into some of the PSU banks big time. And even if
Okay.
you look at the QIP of Canara Bank, which came around 1 or 2 months ago, there was a lot of mutual fund participation in that
Yeah.
QIP as well. So there are there, and obviously now retail investors have also started buying when they have seen that there is value in it and there could be a re-rating that can happen. uh, the retail investors have also started to buy in, but my guess is that there are HNIs which are buying into it. अगर आप IDBI बैंक के top 200 की shareholders की list देखो, it has
जी.
some of the marquee names HNIs के जो जिनके मतलब they have taken a lot of stock or bought a lot of shares of this bank IDBI.
All right. Okay. Yeah, these two things. Okay, so IDBI Bank and BPCL, we just need to trigger it on and keep a radar, high radar on these particular stocks.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Like next thing is, what exactly would you find that various reforms are being there, like resolution programs are there for banks and recapitalization things, all right, which results in like NPA decline हो रहे हैं उसकी वजह से. So would that like reforms are changing for a particular banking space? जो भी reforms अभी आ रहे हैं banking space के अंदर, क्योंकि exactly many members are very curious like how bank nifty is railing oppositely to nifty, क्योंकि अगर निफ्टी में स्वीप आ रहा है, so how bank nifty like वो oppositely क्यों react कर रहा था, मतलब what exactly the reason is there, is it due to PSU bank or is it due to the like result season of private bank particularly, so what exactly the logic as per you of rallying in bank nifty as
Yeah.
specific?
So Bank Nifty is actually one, or there is six sector rotation that is happening across stocks as sectors, right? You had
Okay.
pharma, chemicals doing it, then the IT came in, then real estate came in till about last month. Now, obviously, the leadership is changing to banks, right? There
Right.
are a couple of reasons. One is that last 1 year has been very difficult for private sector banks and public sector banks because of COVID, because of lot of defaults from the retail customers or borrowers. They had to write off a lot of loans, restructure a lot of loans because of COVID related delinquencies and defaults. Provisions were higher, especially for credit cards, personal loans, and some of these home loan customers. They were not able to pay on time. And then you had this issue of microfinance customers defaulting big time, right? So one is obviously one we have seen that today things are getting normalized. Hopefully, if there is no third wave, that means that the economy is now stabilizing, and from here on it will see growth. When I see growth, because if you look at it, if I were to give you some examples, like uh, if you look at it, people are spending money, hotels are going full on weekends at least, people are traveling, people are buying for
Right.
Diwali. You had this Amazon and Flipkart sale that came up from 1st of October or 3rd of October, which did a lot of good business. Credit card spends went up. Similarly, I am told by my friends who were traveling that there were who were traveling to hill station, that the hotels were jam packed, right? So
Yeah, yeah, right.
hotel spends are coming back, travel spends are coming back, credit card spends is obviously you look at the credit card spends, August spends and September spends, they were very high September spends
Yeah,
as
massive.
compared to August spend. So all this is indicating that the economy is reviving after COVID, especially after March, April, and May. We had tough 2 or 3 months basically during the second wave. Things are now normalizing, are stabilizing. So obviously, if things stabilize, the banks will come back to the growth stage. The only today negative is that there is no credit growth in the system, or very less, 6 to 7% of credit growth, which is the lowest in probably 10 to 15 years. So this cycle will reverse at some point in time, and we will see the credit growth coming back strongly. And banks, once the interest rate also starts to go up, the banks are benefited by the rising interest rate cycle. The profits go up, right? So we
Right,
are
right.
seeing that at some point in time, whether it is December, whether it is February or March or April, RBI will increase rates because of the high inflation, and then
True.
the profitabilities will start to improve for banks. And we have seen that Q2 results have been much better for banks, better than expectation. So this is, I think, driving the rally, and now other banks which will come up, probably they will also declare good results. So obviously, PSU banks will also have good results. That's the expectation. So that's driving the bank nifty up.
Yeah, I'm getting your point right. What exactly I can say in a gist that would be a seasonal change, particularly which we are seeing.
Yeah,
All right, linking up with the various sector specific, and secondly, which you have just mentioned, the quarter two
yeah,
running off. All right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good thing. All right, what exactly would you be like to speak about particular credit growth thing? Because I just want to ask how credit growth is particularly linked with the bank स्पेसेस क्योंकि जैसे हम किसी पर्टिकुलर स्टॉक का हम देखते हैं रिजल्ट्स आते हैं
Hmm,
सो विल बी लुकिंग इनटू हमारे फर्स्ट फैक्टर जाता है नेट प्रॉफिट के ऊपर
hmm.
लाइक पैट क्या स्कोर किया ईपीएस का क्या स्कोर है ऑलराइट सो इन टर्म्स ऑफ बैंक इफ आई एम लुकिंग एट अ बैलेंस शीट ऑफ पर्टिकुलरली बैंक सो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली द ट्रिगिंग आप ऐसे कौन सा पॉइंट पकड़ते हो एज अ फर्स्ट स्टांस कि पहले स्टांस आपके माइंड में ये चीज आती है कि हाँ ये चीज अच्छी है सो वी आई कैन लुक फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर बैंक फॉर अ इन्वेस्टमेंट और फॉर अ ट्रेडिंग पर्टिकुलर थिंग
So
सो ऐसे
basic,
कौन से पॉइंट है
so basically, first thing that you have to look at is that what has been the credit growth YOY, right?
ओके
If the RBI data says that credit growth is 6%, so any
ऑलराइट
bank that has done 9%, 8%, 10% has done better than the system credit growth, right? So that
ओके
means that if one bank is doing 10% and the system credit growth is 6%, that means it is gaining market share,
ओके
right?
व्हाट इज सिस्टम ग्रोथ
So
कुड आई आस्क
RBI collates data from all the banks and then it publishes it every fortnightly. What has
ओके
been the loan growth for each and every bank, right? So what is
ऑलराइट
the system? And then when they collate all the data, it comes to the system credit growth, that how much credit growth has happened in the system,
ट्रू
right?
गॉट इट
So if today the credit growth as per RBI data is around 6 to 6.5%, right, year on year,
ओके
and let's assume that let's take an example that HDFC Bank credit growth was 13%,
ओके
right? That means HDFC Bank has gained market share from some banks who probably will report a lower credit growth than 6%. So similarly, on Saturday, we saw that ICICI Bank reported a credit growth of 19%, which means that they have also gained market share at the expense of some other banks. So we will only get to know when every bank has published their result what is the credit growth for each bank. So someone who's above 6% has gained market share in this quarter. Someone who's
ओके
less than 6.5% or 7% has not gained market share this quarter.
Yeah, that's a good point to catch
Right.
for all of us.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, credit growth is a one factor which you all can figure it out, and specific percentage like 6 to 7% for a particular thing. That's a good catch. Okay. Next thing, I'm just correlating with the credit growth thing. Okay, so bad bank concept we just have see a revolutionary concept these days. So मेरा particularly and कुछ members का भी ये doubt है कि bad bank के concept में आपका क्या है particularly आपकी एक AMC form कर दी जाती है asset
Yeah.
construction company.
Yeah.
ठीक है अब उसमें क्या होता है कि वो एक जो पर्टिकुलर बैंक्स है बीट लाइक पीएसयू और जो भी बैंक्स है उनके जो बैड लोन्स है वो कलेक्ट कर लेते हैं ओके वो सारे परचेज कर लेते हैं
Yeah.
सो द थिंग इज इफ इन केस अगर आई एम अ एसेट कंस्ट्रक्शन कंपनी एंड आई एम बाइंग
Hmm.
एनपीएस ऑफ यू लाइक यू आर अ
Hmm.
यूनियन बैंक फॉर सपोज
Yeah.
अगर मैं आपके एनपीएस बाय कर रहा हूँ तो आपकी बैलेंस शीट से एनपीएस तो सारे खत्म हो गए
Correct.
ठीक है
Correct.
एंड नाउ योर प्रॉफिट विल स्टेडली राइज प्रॉफिट तो बढ़ने ही आपके डेफिनेटली सो उस केस में बिकॉज जो बैड बैंक्स होंगे
Hmm.
वो बैड बैंक तभी पार्टिसिपेट करेंगे ना वो क्रेडिट डिपॉजिट ले सकते हैं ना वो डिपॉजिट दे सकते हैं
Hmm.
ठीक है
Yeah.
तो उस केस में फिर क्रेडिट ग्रोथ का कैसे लिंक होगा
See, first of all, आप जब अपना एनपीए ट्रांसफर करते हैं,
हाँ
right?
जी
एनपीए is already basically provided for 97%. जो ये ट्रांसफर होंगे ये almost 100% provided for है, right?
ओके
So it will go away from your denominator, right? And your numerator also. So अगर सपोज करिए आपके बेसिकली 1 लाख करोड़ की आपकी लोन बुक है, right?
ओके
So it and 10,000 crore is your NPA. So after you transfer your NPA, your net book will be 90,000 crores,
Yeah, right,
right? So you
right,
will then see that what is the incremental loans that have been added in that quarter, and what has been the credit growth based on the loan book, the entire loan book, which is now 90,000 crores, right?
right,
So this will tell you that how much of a credit growth is coming back. And secondly, like uh, when the ARC will resolve that account, it will pay back some amount to the bank itself, because the arrangement is that they will charge their fee, etc., with a share of profit, and rest will be shared back with the bank जिसका वो NPA खरीदा था उन्होंने.
right, right.
Right. So ultimately, whether it is an NCLT resolution, whether it is out of court settlement, or whatever happens, someone buys the company and then pays the ARC, some amount, without a haircut or with a haircut, some amount will obviously come back to the banks as profit.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
Now got you.
Yeah.
Okay. And then next thing, like we just need to ask, like हमने भी देखा कि जो privatization है banks का, this is coming into space. All right, the news has been like floating around us. जो privatization insurance company का है, I think वो already approve हो चुका है in the August last quarter we just have seen. Okay, so जब insurance company का privatization हो चुका है, तो उस केस में what exactly the stocks you are picking up, और आपके radar में ऐसा कुछ stocks की insurance sector पे क्या effect आ सकता है? If in case अगर privatization का कंसेप्ट रोल आउट हो चुका है बाय द गवर्नमेंट, बट एग्जैक्टली एज ऑफ नाउ मैंने ऐसा अभी कुछ पर्टिकुलर स्टॉक में ऐसा मूवमेंट नहीं देखा इंश्योरेंस सेक्टर स्पेस में कि रैली आ रही हो, बट
So
ऑलरेडी इनका अप्रूव हो चुका है.
which insurance companies are you talking about? Can you just be specific?
Because I think they have they're like likely two bills are being there for pension fund regulatory authority. So I think would there be any particular stock like that could be effective from this?
I think in the listed space in the insurance sector, I think there is national insurance and there is probably general insurance
Okay,
corporation,
right, right.
right? Is there any other listed space in insurance,
No,
listed company?
I don't think so. No, no.
Yeah. So what I understand is that between the two, probably they will privatize one. General insurance is a reinsurance company, right?
Right.
National insurance is a general insurance company. So government has only one life insurance company, which is LIC, which will come out with an IPO
I
sometime
know.
in
Right.
March. Right, right. So they are preparing to launch the IPO before 31st March. So hopefully we will get to know as we progress that when is the DRHP filed and when is the IPO coming. About national insurance and GIC, I haven't read or come across that government has moved forward uh, on this space or on these companies to privatize. So it's very difficult to kind of comment right now. But
Yeah.
overall, in the life insurance space or in general insurance space, stocks have not moved. You rightly said that it's private, especially the private sector companies like HDFC Life, SBI Life, or ICICI Life, or for that matter, ICICI Pru, basically, which is ICICI Lombard, which is a general insurance company. Because
Yeah.
for the last 1 year, COVID claims on death benefits and on health policies has been very high for these companies,
Right.
right? So now, probably going forward in the next 3 months, these claims will come down, right? So
Okay.
then probably when these claims come down, the profits will increase and you will see the share price probably will move up in the next 3 to 5 months or 6 months.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So we'll be like we'll be having just for a few questions ahead, and we'll be taking the questions if in case the members is having. Okay. So at last, I just want to ask which specific component, if in case, as per your knowledge, which specific component, like be it a private bank or be it a PSU, क्योंकि अभी बैंक निफ्टी में I just have noticed technically
Hmm.
rally is about to come. But exactly, I think like volatility is going to creep in. Definitely volatility भी आएगी बैंकिंग सेक्टर्स के स्पेस पे,
Hmm.
इस बैंक निफ्टी पर्टिकुलरली. बट आपके अकॉर्डिंग ऐसा कौन सा सेगमेंट है जो अभी रैली करवाएगा, पीएससी और प्राइवेट बैंक, इफ यू नीड टू
I
पिक अ
think
पर्टिकुलर थिंग?
both can rise. I don't know how technical work or what is the technical setup of various banks. But my
Okay.
guess is that both banks can rise or can go up. whether it is some of the private sector banks or some of the public sector banks, they can both go up. What which names will go up is very difficult to guess right now.
Yeah. All right.
Uh, Banks which are doing well obviously will get that investments from investors and the interest from investors to invest. But my guess is that probably public sector banks will outperform the private sector banks in the next 3 to 6 months, and then probably the leadership will come back to private sector banks.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, got your point. Okay, so any particular stock pick, if in case we'll be keeping into radar, not from the perspective of investment, not from the perspective of trading, just to keep on a particular radar so that we can see a particular good improvement
So
in terms of.
basically, one has to look at the adjusted book value. When I say adjusted book value, you have to, from the net worth, reduce the NP and see what is the book value and what is the price it is trading at. If the gap
Yeah.
is higher, you will see probably that banks will probably uh, cover that gap between adjusted book value and the share price. You probably will see that, and also the results. So as of now, we haven't had any public sector bank declaring its results. So in the next 10 days, we will have all these public sector banks reporting results, all the 12 of them, probably in the next 10 to 12 days or 15 days, will come up,
Right.
whether it is PNB, SBI, Union Bank, or Canara Bank, or Bank of Baroda, they will come up with results. So the trigger will be the results then, right? So you never know which banks come up with best of results and they will start rallying.
Yeah, true.
Right.
Got your point.
Yeah.
I hope this is clear to all. Okay, so now I'll be taking the question from the member if in case they are having.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so all right. If in case you all are having, if in case कोई question है आपका, तो you can put it up so that Arvind sir can make it clear. You can speak it out. If in case you are having any questions,
Hi, Kaushal here. I had one question.
Yeah.
Can I
yeah,
go ahead?
yeah,
Yeah.
question. You can go ahead.
Sir, the real question, I mean, I wanted to understand the optimism behind like the larger macroeconomic outlook. I mean, the credit growth is still stuck at about 6.5, six
Yeah.
point seven five, and
Yeah.
then at the same time, you have deposits for, I think, the week ending October 8th was at about 10%.
Yeah.
So, A, do you really foresee that by December you will really have a strong uptick in credit growth? That's the one question. Why do you think that there is? I mean, what is the reason to be so optimistic? And B, the new trend seems more focus seems to be on retail loans. So, in that particular vein, in that particular segment, which PSU bank will you suggest?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
So,
these.
so basically, you are very right when you say that the loan growth, the systemic loan growth is 6.5% or sub 7%, and deposit growth is double digits at 10% plus. If you look at the last 20-25 year chart for credit growth, basically from the RBI website, and if you can lay your hands onto it, we are at the lowest point in the last 15-20 years, right? So it's like you are at the floor right now, right? Credit growth
Okay.
has never gone below 6%, is what I see. Probably the last time it was at 6%. After that, it reversed, right? So one is obviously, if you're on the floor, you can't go further down. The only
Okay.
way
So,
is to move up, basically. So uh, this is one of the things that I think that can play out. Second is that today the retail loan growth is strong because there is a consumption driven story, right? People are spending money on travel, people are spending money on buying new mobiles, buying new television sets, or whether it is buying gadgets, etc., for their homes, whether it's consumer durables, ACs, etc., right? Or
right.
larger television sets. So obviously there is consumption led demand that is very strong in the retail loan segment. That's why all banks, whatever they're able to survive at 7, 8, 10% growth, is because of the retail loan growth, right? Corporate loan growth is not there because today there is overcapacity, and and there is not enough demand for those products,
Right.
right?
But yeah,
Sorry, go
any
ahead.
particular pick in the PSU bank sector then, for at least when it comes to, let's say, focusing on retail
You
segment?
basically, rather than playing on one particular name, I think it is better to probably go with the PSU ETF. I know there are some couple of PSU bank ETFs, right? Kotak has
Okay.
one PSU ETF, banking ETF. Probably, if you research, you will find that whatever banks are there, it makes sense to then have a basket of banks, so that probably if you buy into one bank and if it doesn't move and the other one moves, then you feel that, oh, this bank did not probably move with the times. So
Right.
my suggestion to anyone would be to play safe and probably go through a PSU basket ETF rather than only uh,
One particular bank.
buy one particular bank, and then probably if it doesn't go up, then you would be left holding that bank. So that is something that one has to look at it and decide.
Right.
Yeah,
Fair enough. Thank you.
yeah,
Hi, this is Biju. RNG, hello.
yeah. Hello.
Yes, sir, this is again regarding the retail and wholesale banking, because HDFC Bank is saying that they have more than 50%, 54% of their loans in corporate loans in wholesale banking.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
suddenly, in the second wave, people are saying that retail banking is going to, I mean, having so much of problems. But most of the other banks are not doing that. Most of the other banks are still in retail banking only, not into corporate banking. So, what's your call on that?
So basically, see, corporate banking is a very competitive space, right?
Yeah,
Because if you have to lend to AAA corporates like Hindustan Lever, Nestle, most of the lending today in corporates is working capital, right? So
yeah,
whether you have the large government companies, you talk of them, or you have the large multinationals or Indian companies, you name them, be it Maruti, be it or any other any other company which is a AAA rated company, they will have a choice of lenders that they can go to, right? Not necessarily they will then squeeze you for pricing, right? So
yeah.
someone who has the lowest cost of funds can obviously fight on that pricing.